here at 8:08. Our station is AM 1250. Our motto is news from our own backyard, because our mission is to connect local people, places, and things. There's a whole lot of other stuff I usually say at the top of the hour, like GirardAtLarge.com is the website, also the Facebook and Twitter page. We are going at light speed. Why? We want to give as much time as we can to our next guest, former Louisiana Governor and Congressman Buddy Roemer. He is running for the presidency here, at least the Republican nomination for the presidency. We'll be taking your calls for the governor at 647-1250. Governor, we have about 22 minutes, so let's make
talk fast.
Well, that's what we need, a fast talking politician.
I've been there, done that. You know how to tell when they're lying?
How's that?
Those lips are moving. You can spot it every time in Louisiana. I don't know about New Hampshire.
Well, that's why we don't talk much up here. So, except on Girard at Large from 6 to 9. So, Governor, no doubt that your name will be unfamiliar to many of our listeners here in the Manchester area. So, why don't you talk to us a little bit about who you are, why you're running, and why you're so unfamiliar.
68 from Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
Speaking any French up here with the locals?
I try not to. My English is bad enough. I've been out of political office for 20 years. I was governor of Louisiana, first as a Democrat, then as a Republican, changed parties. We had a one-party state. It was corrupt. The way to foster a cleaning up of a system is to have more than one party. There's a little oversight, a little competition, a little choice. Corruption begins to fade. We had the highest unemployment rate in America, 12.8% when I was elected. Our bonds were rated lower than the bonds of any state, plus the bonds of Guam. That's how bad we were.
Wow,
we were in debt up to our eyeballs. We had a corrupt governor for 3 terms. He'd never lost an election. He used to brag about the money he stole, and he said as long as he paid taxes, they couldn't put him in jail. By the way, I put him in jail.
That was Edwin Edwards, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got out of jail 5 months ago. David Duke went with him. So Louisiana was corrupt. In 4 years, we lowered the unemployment rate from 12 to 11 to 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 to 5.6. We balanced the budget for the first time in 8 years. We revised the tax code completely. We tested our teachers. It had never been done in any state in America. Gets a lot of publicity now. We did it 22 years ago.
Wow.
We gave the teachers who passed a 30% pay raise. We asked those who failed to learn how to teach. We gave them a year, and when they failed the second time, we terminated. We put our children first. We turned that state around. We had 5 bond upgrades in a single year. Now, I've been happy for that.
Sounds like you know what you're doing.
I did it. My training is in economics, Harvard, undergraduate degree, 1964, master's degree in banking, 1967. The last 20 years I've been in banking, a small bank. I'm a community banker. I'm a Main Street banker. No bailout. I have a $1 billion bank. No bailout money. No special deals. We didn't foreclose on a single mortgage holder. Now stay with me on this, Rich. Not one. We refinanced every loan. We actually met with each of our clients. We went to their home or to their office and met with them and restructured the deal. That's what a bank is supposed to do. I wouldn't run for office normally, but I don't think these are normal times. I think our country's headed in the wrong direction. Let's measure it. Our unemployment rate dropped last month to 8.6%. The reason it dropped was 315,850 people quit looking for work. Of the jobs created last month, 125,000, 96% were minimum wage jobs. You can't find anything made in America. I'm exaggerating, but only slightly. You want to turn this country around? I think you need to do two things. One, you need to have fair trade with China. You need to stop the unfair trade. I've been to China, as you know, 20 times. I know this country like the back of my hand, and I'm so tired of John Huntsman apologizing for China. I'm going to throw up at the next debate. I mean, seriously. I mean, I know his family has $1 billion invested there, and they have their hands around his throat. But stand up, John. We need fair trade. I'm not trying to stop trade. It just needs to be fair, Rich, and it's not fair now. We sold some fire engines from Louisiana in China about 15 years ago. I went over there many times, did the deal with a town called Chengdu, 8 million people. They bought the fire engines, well made. I loved every fire engine, put my hands on. About $1.25 million a fire engine. 9 years later, we delivered. The government of China held up the deal with hidden barriers, hidden tariffs, ridiculous conditions for 9 years. Their products, cheap and made by children often, flood into this country, stealing jobs from working people, and our products can't get into their country. I'm going to tell you what I want, Rich. Fair trade. And I think it is unconstitutional and unacceptable for presidents of the United States, beginning with Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, and now this president we have now, who don't have the guts to stand up to China. Number two, I think Washington needs to be cleaned out. I call it the capital of corruption. I'm the only guy running who's been a congressman, took no PAC money. Tip O'Neill used to laugh at me. He said, you know, you're the only politician that doesn't take PAC money. I said, tell me, Tip. He was Speaker of the House. I was a conservative Democrat, so he thought he could tell me what to do. I said, tell me, Tip, PAC A, who gave them their money? He said, well, we don't know that. We don't need to know that. I said, yes, we do. I'm a diabetic. I am what I eat. I've been a diabetic for 40 years. The doctor told me, you're going to be what you eat, buddy. Be careful. Eat tangerines every chance you can. Be strong. If you are what you eat, in politics, you are where you get your money. You are where you get your money. Barack Obama signed the bank reform bill. Too big to fail is still in the law. Glass-Steagall was not added to the law. Capital ratios did not go up. It wasn't bank reform. What did Barack do? He signed it. The next week he went to Wall Street, had a fundraiser hosted by Goldman Sachs, who celebrated the non-reform in the bank reform bill. It's a joke. As a diabetic, I looked at healthcare reform. I believe in healthcare reform. There are people in your listening audience who can't afford to be sick. We need to fix this problem. So what did Mr. Obama do? What did the Congress do? Insurance companies don't have to compete. Do you know that insurance companies are the only industry not under the Sherman Antitrust Act? Oh my God, I wonder why that is. The money they give, Rich. They're the largest giver to Congress and to the president. You know who the biggest giver to our president was 4 years ago?
Nope.
General Electric, $4.3 million.
Wow,
Now,
that's what you call return on investment for General Electric.
They're looking good. General Electric is looking good. They fired 28,000 Americans last year. They hired 41,000 Chinese. They've built 11 plants in China, and they don't sell a single product in China. They built a plant in China, and they sell the products in New Hampshire.
Well, but their CEO is chairman of the Jobs or Competitiveness Council or something.
Hello.
Like that.
Hello.
Jeff,
By the way, they don't care who wins. They were the largest giver to the Democrats. They're also the largest giver to the Republicans.
That's why I sold my stock in them.
These parties are just alike. They're in it for the money. By the way, you know who the second largest giver was?
No.
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. Every time we say Goldman Sachs, can we bring up like the Darth Vader voice or something?
Here's the way I say
really
it.
do think that.
Here's what I say when I'm giving this. I say Goldman friggin' Sachs.
Don't hold back,
Goldman friggin' Sachs. All right.
So, my issue is corruption, My issue is when a big check is first in line and everybody else